Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is Andy 265, and we're going to continue on. We were creating the phonemes, and I just followed the list. I did AI. So the basic default pose, you want to save that at 0. And what we'll do is we'll pull this up to frame 1, and that just basically means we can't go back to frame 0, okay? So I'm going to go to 0. We created a face quick selection set, and I go to show viewport, my NURBS controllers. You can see that I've got all those controllers that I want selected. Now we went through that in the last video. So I wanted you guys to start doing your phonemes, okay? So we got the default on frame 0, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to frame 1 on the slider here, to frame 1. And I want you to have your slider set to 120. So set that up to 120. That'll get you set up. And then a couple of things you want to do before you start animating and everything. We got a ways to go before we start animating, but because we got to get those phonemes just right. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you set your settings in the preferences, and make sure the playback speed is 24 frames per second times 1. We don't want play every frame. We want 24 frames per second times 1. So go ahead and save that. And in here you can see that I just followed the phonemes, looked in the mirror, and went through all the phonemes, vowels and consonants. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and select this camera, perspective camera, and I'm going to turn off the NURBS curves. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I've got. So this is AI. Okay, notice that this is the actual A-E-I-O-U, A. So that's the one that's going to have the chin go down the most, but you still don't want it to go rotate very much at all. And I think that's probably almost too much, but I think A, that's pretty good, A. So when I looked in the mirror, went A, notice that the lips are, we don't have expression yet, okay? That comes later. We're just going to do the lip sync without expression. That means the mouth too. We don't need to show expression. Keep it simple and relaxed, okay? So 1 is A, okay? 2 is O, 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 okay? So again, looking in the mirror makes a huge difference. Now, I did look at a reference, okay? But I also sounded it out and looked through a mirror, okay, to see exactly. So that's O, and then we've got, on number 3, I've got C, 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 C. The chin goes up for C, as you can see that. C, okay, O, the chin's still down, right? O, E, so A, O, C, and then this one is L, okay? That's hard to see, but the tongue is there. Okay, so I'm going to rotate around so you can see the tongue. Okay, this is how I had the tongue set up. Okay, L, L. Okay, all right. Let's go back. All right, L. And then 5 is W, W. So W, W. Okay, you can see on the side view what I've got going on here. Wah. 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 Okay, the lips go forward. Wah. And then number 6, we've got E. Okay, E. All right, E. Let's go back in here. That's E. Let's go back into this camera. E. You got to click on the actual pane. So if you want to see animation, this won't update right away. So I'm going to click on this one here, and you can see that update. E, 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 E. I'm going to go below a little bit. E, it's got a little bit of an overbite. E, E, W, W, E, we. So we can go we. So we don't want the chin to move. So when the reason why I did it this way, because I want to go from W to E, we. Put your hand underneath your chin. Okay? Put your hand underneath your chin, and when you talk, you can see when your jaw opens. Okay? So just lightly touch your chin as you talk. And whenever your jaw goes down, that's when you usually have ah. Ah. Okay? All right, so we got 6 as E, and then we got 7 as U. You. You can see that. You. And then we've got, so 7 is U. And then we've got 8. This one's probably the hardest one to do, and you need to have a side view for that. You can see that I went into panels, and I went into layouts, and I did pane side by side, and then I chose the side view. So I got a side view. So I can see we've got the V. See that from the side view? That's really important because you can fake it from the front, right? But the thing is, the shadows will show. So if you have really intense lighting or you got some shadows, having that lower lip pushed in a little bit and touching, almost trying to go underneath the teeth. Now be careful, don't go too far. The character cannot handle actually pushing that up underneath. You can't do that. So basically, just the teeth touching the top of the bottom lip. That's what you're looking for, and getting that kind of a shape here, okay, like a normal person would when you say va. Okay. So 9 is a little harder to do. I mean, it's not hard, but it's like when you'd go that means your jaw goes up a little bit. So I want to go to va, vum, 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 vum. That's what I'm looking for. The jaw goes up just a little bit, and it's pressing the lips together. And you're thinking, well, why wouldn't that just be the default? Okay, let's look at the default compared to, let's go back to 0 here. So let's go from 0 to 9. Look at that. 0 is relaxed. Your face is relaxed, your mouth is closed. But 9 is when your chin goes up a little bit. See that? You can see that in the side view. Watch the side view here real quick. From 0, okay, to 9. See how it goes up? 0 and 9. Just a little bit, okay? All right? Because you're pursing your lips, and your jaw goes up when you purse your lips. Your jaw goes up. It's crushing those lips to create the word like pa and ma, especially ma. So your jaw is pushing ma to create that sound. So, all right. And then I've got the rest. Resting, okay? You're going to have resting between sentences. You cannot just go back to the default. That looks really weird. It looks really chattery. So most people, when you're talking, you do not close your mouth. So if I say a word, I don't close my mouth. That looks really weird. If I close my mouth after every word, I don't think you can even do it as a human being. That would be very difficult. You could, but it would slow you down when you talk. Slow down when I talk. So what happens is that when students first start animating lip sync, they try to do that. They try to get that default pose in there when they should just go with the open, relaxed pose, okay, which is your mouth open a little bit. Okay, you can see that from the side view. All right. So getting your phonemes perfected And you're going to have to go back and make changes, because if you get real chattery, we call it chatterboxing, where you got somebody lip syncing, and of course you're new at lip syncing, so you may a lot of words flow into each other. That's another thing you got to understand. A lot of these words will flow into each other, so you got to kind of pay attention to that as well, because when you start to get chattery stuff, your animations look really awful. So we'll talk more about that in class. Hopefully we'll get to be in class on Thursday. It's going to be colder than you know what, but try to get there so I can help you with stuff like this. All right, so when you go through all of them, you can see that they flow really well together. There's not a whole lot of chatterboxing going on. You got a lot of chattering, like a puppet. We want it to flow. You can see there's flow between everything. Okay. All right, so I think that's going to be good. All right, again, I haven't tested this. I don't use Malcolm, so this is a new experience for me as well, just as far as that goes. I use different characters and different rigs, so they're all different. But this one's actually really good rig, but I'm having to get used to the picker. The picker isn't the best. That's why I've created my own quick selection sets, so I don't make any mistakes. I think you guys should start doing that too. All right. So, another thing I want to talk to you about quick selection sets. I almost forgot. With the V, with the tongue sticking out a little bit. L and those sounds, with the tongue sticking in there. That was kind of crazy. I have to figure that one out. So I went to my number 1, which is with the mouth open. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go into show and viewport and go into nerves curves. I noticed that my tongue, I forgot to add those to my selection. So I had to go back and select all of these again, one by one, with the picker. Okay. Let's go open the picker up here real quick. So I started with basically I got the tongue. So this is what I ended up doing, and I had to create a new quick selection set, and I had to rename it something different because it kept overriding itself. Very strange. Anyway, start from the front and go to the back. So I did. Click on that and then hold the shift key and go back, and then with the shift key held, I'm not worried about the teeth or anything. Just start going in here and just selecting these one by one, and with the mouth, don't do the corners, just go from the inside around like this. Okay. And then you want to click on these, and then I clicked on these, that, and all these other ones all around the eye, like that. Okay, for animation. And I'm just going to look at what I got selected. I'm not really interested in selecting these guys right here, the blue, and there's some green things in here, and the ears and all that stuff. So I'm really worried about that. So what I had to do is I had to actually get the tongue in there. Otherwise, my tongue would go up and down all through my animations, because when I do the V, the tongue will stick out, and if I don't have the tongue down with the other phonemes, right? So I had to go back and do this. All right. So I want to make sure, and you can do it even if you don't, even if you have all these done, it's okay, because I'll show you. So even if you have everything done and your phonemes look great and nothing's wrong, your tongue still has to be as a selection. So you can hit the S key, okay? Because there'll be points if you don't, that the tongue that is animated out for the th and the F sound, the L sound, that it will go through the teeth, right, as you're animating, and you don't want that. So go to create, And if you figured out how to fix it, that's fine. Go to quick selection set, and in here you're going to have to name it something different than this, something that different than you've had before. So if you have to type in faces instead of faces, that's fine, or face 01, that's fine too. Just put a number behind it or whatever. Face 01, put a 01, because when you do this several times, Maya remembers that. I'll show you. Let's call this just for instance, face 01. So let's do that, face and then 01, and then add to shelf. Okay, it'll add it to that. So when I click off, so even if you have done all that, you can go into frame 0. Okay, right, and you can select faces 1, right, and you can go in there and hit the S key. You can go through all of this, hit the X key, and what it's going to do is, except for that one with, okay, except for that one with the tongue out, you don't want to do that keyframe again, okay? Because what's going to happen, it's going to take that out, okay? So we want to make sure that we keep that in there. So number 4, you don't want to redo that, okay? Because it'll redo your tongue being out, okay? So just make sure you don't do that one. The rest of them you can go ahead and do a keyframe. So number 4, if you did the same thing, just don't do the L and the F or the TH, the and la, the. So you can do number 5, set a keyframe all the way through. Okay, there we go. And for that would get the tongue throughout the whole thing. Now that you have it, you can get rid of the ones that don't have the tongue included in the selection set, okay? And you notice that I also did a shelf for my camera. All right, so if we're going to do close-ups of just the face, and I talked to you about that. But anyway, that's kind of the picker issues that I've had, because it's just, and I think, I know the tongue is there, right? I think it's in there, maybe not. But there's some other, like teeth. I think the jaw and the teeth are in there too as well. Let's take a look. Hit the 4 key. And you can see some of the things that are being selected in here. Jaw. And then this one's got the tongue. And yeah, I did, it didn't look like they had a tongue one. And I could be wrong. Somebody told me in class. I know somebody was messing with the tongue and stretching it out a lot. Which was funny. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about that with maybe adding another one. Since I've already got one with the tongue, I'm just going to take this and delete it. Okay, so here's mine, and you'll need to have that. All right, and make sure you include the tongue. If you haven't started, you're good to go. Even if you started and created everything, it's not the end of the world. It won't change anything. All right, so with animation, of course, you'll need to have this, but all the phonemes are all set up for you now. The 9. Now, there are subcategories, of course, and we talked about that too as well. And I talked about it, or I showed you on Module 5 some of the variances that you can use. Some of them are so close to the originals, and a lot of them just are you going to make him happy, or is he going to make him angry, right? Is he happy, angry, or is he just normal when he's talking? So that depends on the character's personality and the moment that he's in. Is he angry at the moment? Is he happy at the moment? Or is he just talking to you normally? So anyway, so think about all that stuff, and we're not worried about expression this week, okay? So, and we're only focusing on, so he's going to be expressionless, and and basically that's all I want this week, okay? So we're going to do lip syncing. So the thing is, we have to kind of figure out what we're going to do with these. So if we're happy with the phonemes, how do we use these in Studio Library, okay? Because we do not want to go through here. The reason why we did this, to go through here and have to animate this because it's not consistent as well, you know? Yeah, I mean, we could be more aggressive, but that's something we can do with expressions, right? Louder, you know, when we're angry, we get really loud. We open our mouth farther, you know. Our eyebrows are conveying expression, our eyes are conveying expression, and then, of course, our mouth getting more aggressive with your jaw and really, if you're screaming things or if you're just talking normally. So these are things we can do later. Okay, so just focus on a normal talk, normal phonemes, and we can change those later. Okay. All right, I just wanted to get you started with that. Let's go ahead and we're going to leave this open. I like the side view too as well there. What we're going to do now is we're going to open up our studio library. Okay, you can see where I've got started. So I didn't even have this. So what you're going to do is you're going to create, and I'll just create something myself. You're going to create a folder. That's going to be on the top part. And I'm going to call this something like Claire or something, maybe another character that I have. Okay, so you're going to type in Malcolm. I've already done that, so I'm going to show you. So you'll type in Malcolm here. I got Claire because I've already got Malcolm here. And in here, we want to add another folder. So I'm going to create a new folder, and that's going to basically put underneath. So this one I'm going to call, so you can see here, let me cancel that. So you can see here I've got facial expressions and lip sync poses, okay? So with Claire, I'm going to do the same thing. So lip sync, all right? Or I can call this phonemes. Let's just say I call this phoneme. So I'm going to create a new one, a new folder here. And we're going to call this phonemes. Once I call that phonemes, then I'm going to click on create. And that's going to put another folder underneath. Okay, you can continue putting subfolders by right-clicking and going to new, and you have another subfolder. It's called this facial expressions. And just call it EXP and create. You want to keep those names fairly short. You've only got a certain amount of space here, and of course you can bring this out if you really want to go crazy, but I usually like to keep things really short and sweet. So that's how you create your folders, okay? And what's nice about this is the first thing we're going to do is we want to reuse our phonemes. The whole idea about Studio Library is we're able to take poses and blend them into each other if we want to. We can take facial expressions, parts of the face, kind of like animation layering, where if we wanted to just work with the eyes, we have maybe just expressions with the eyes, expressions with the eyebrows. We can blend them all together. The best way to explain it is, and the reason why this is revolutionizing animation, the Studio Library, or types of software like Studio Library, is the fact that it can blend these things together, which is really exciting and very cool and makes your life so much better when you're creating lip sync animations instead of going through and doing this for each line. So let's say we have the word we, let's say we're doing a long character animation, we're doing a film, and we've got maybe 6 minutes of dialogue, and the rest is action, or we've got 20 minutes of dialogue, or maybe we've got an hour of dialogue in a 2-hour movie. But whatever it is, you're probably saying we and you and they and several hundreds of times, and trying to animate that every single time when you can just have your phonemes all set up here and placed in here. So you just click on it and you can just create it by clicking on something instead of moving all of these controllers is amazing. It's revolutionary. So I'm going to show you how to get started here. So with facial expressions, that's why I had you do this. So facial expressions, we're going to start with just think of, we're in Malcolm now. So you have Malcolm, facial expression, Malcolm phonemes. So we're going to go to phonemes, okay? Now we need to create something in here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get close. I don't know how close you want to go. If you want to go to the side, how you want to do this. A lot of people will go and just really get that all the way up. And I know I'm kind of breaking my rules, but these are for icons, okay? So I'm going to break the rules a little bit here. I'm going to get a little bit closer. And you can go face on. Some of us like that. Some of us want to go to the side a little bit. Some people do that. Whichever you want to do, you can experiment. You can retake the screenshots if you want to. So here's what I've got. And this is just his normal face, okay? So that's the default, okay? So what we're going to do is go into Phonemes here. We're going to right-click over it and go to a new pose. And that's going to create this, okay? So how this works, though, is you've got to click on faces, okay? So click on all your controllers that created that phoneme. That's why I had you create, your quick selection set, okay? So with that done, you can go in here and let's make that a little bit wider, maybe. There we go, like that. That sounds sounds good. And then click on this guy right here, okay? And that creates a screenshot. And this screenshot can be we can just name this as default, not relax. This is default. So let's call that default, okay? That's the name. If you want to comment on that, I don't know what you're going to put in there. Malcolm, default pose, I don't know. And then you click on save. But the only way it's going to save it properly is if you have all the controllers that when you created that phoneme is on. They're on. So click on save, and that creates that one. All right. So we continue to do that. All right. So let's go to the next one. Okay. And this is A or A, and I. Okay. I. So we're going to go to this one, and we're going to do the same thing. Right click over this, go to new and pose, and this creates a new one. So with that selected, with the controllers all selected, I'm going to click on that little, when you hover over it, it goes away. When you hover over it, you can click on that little camera, and there it is. A, I. So I'm going to go A, I. Now I'm going to kind of add normal, okay? So AI, okay, so let's do this. I don't think I need to do underscores with this. A, I, and then normal. And that just tells me that's just a normal. Okay? So I might want to do this. There we go. A, I, normal. Okay, and then click save. Okay, there it is. AI normal. The reason why I'm doing normal next to it is because what if I want to put angry? So AI angry, AI happy, AI sad, right? So we might have 3 sets of these. Angry sets, we might have happy sets, we might have, might want to go from happy to angry. So having those different phonemes in there, a subcategory emotional phonemes later would be great. Okay, we're not doing that now, but anyway, let's go to the second one. So this one is O, okay? Easy enough. Do the same thing. Make sure you go to the next one, go right click on phonemes, go to new pose, and click on the camera. There we go. And this is O, right? O. And then we've got normal. And I want to just kind of put a dash there, normal. It's hard to get to my keyboard. I've got a big old microphone in front of me and the cord's in the way. Anyway, hang in there. And with all the controllers selected, click on save. So you can see how this can go very quickly. And I'm just going to go through all this. I don't need to keep telling you what I'm doing. New pose, and we want to create a shot first, and this is C, D, G. You can just put C, D, G, K, and I don't think you need to put all those in there. So I'm going to put C. Just put capital C in there. You guys get it, and then normal. All right, and then click save. All right, and we continue going on. Go up. Number 4. This is L and D. the, and L, la. So, new pose. Okay, that's hard to tell what it is, so you're going to have to kind of maybe put a couple in there. So I'm going to do L, D, and TH, and then normal. There we go, and save that one. There we go. And then we have number 5, the one, I mean, I don't know what order you guys did, so just kind of make sure you go to your chart. This one is W, W, or Q. So W, I'm going to just put W in there. So with that one, I'm going to go into new pose. Okay, and this is W, normal. There we go, and save. All right, and then we're going to go to number 6, and that one is E, E. So that one, I'm going to go ahead and add that one. E, normal, and save. Here we go, and we want to go to number 7, which is U. Okay, number 7 is U. New pose. And this is U, normal. Okay, save. And we're going to go do V, F, V. Okay, F, V. All right, let's go in here. F. No, is that one right? Yeah, F. I don't know if that's it. There it is. That one. I made a mistake. I forgot to move up. Yeah, I forgot to move up. So V, U, V. There we go. So it'd be 8 on mine. So don't worry, I made a mistake, so I can go in here and take it again. There we go. V. So F, V, and then normal. There we go. Click on save. Awesome. And then 9, that is MBP. So 9. MBP and normal on that one. Save. Okay, and then we got our rest, which is the last one, number 10. Okay. That is called rest, and that is normal. Okay. We got a great start now. So we've got all these in here, all our poses. I'm going to go ahead and take this back a little bit like that. Make this a little bit bigger so we can see everything we've got so far. All right, so view, let's go in here, size, make these a little bit bigger so we can see them. So they're all in there. Okay, so we can see what they are. So yeah, I see. Okay. All right, so this is how it works now. I can go to my default pose, and this is the beauty of this. So I can go in here and I can have this a clean slate. So I can start with the rest, right? He's got his mouth open. I don't know why, but he's got his mouth open. So I'm going to start with the rest. I'm going to click apply, and it will, as long as you have the same exact controller selected, it will allow you to do that. Okay, so I've got these applied now, and I can apply these anywhere I want to. I can go back to O if I want to and apply it. I can go to M and apply it. You can see that. I can go to E to apply it. Okay. I can click on V, F and V and apply it, and then you can see when I'm using that scrub, I can go to the full 100% in V, or go back to, you know what I mean, go back to what I had before. You can kind of do both of those together if you want to, the blending. So I can blend those two together, which is pretty amazing, honestly. So I go down, if I just want to show this one, or if I want to go to this one, I can go to apply. So this is how it's going to make your life so much easier, that you've got your library all set up now. And you can rename stuff. So since I've got all this done, I started doing this over here with just front view, but I kind of like the side view a little bit better of all these. Now just imagine what you can do, your facial expressions, then adding the eyes and blending the eyebrows up and down, making angry. I mean, there's all kinds of really cool stuff. That's why the Studio Library is so amazing and so crazy good when you're trying to do animation, especially long sections. Now, we're not doing long sections. You guys could have done this without the Studio Library, but why? And it's good to start showing you some more advanced techniques and ways to create animation. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy the Studio Library. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me go to, now you don't really need your controllers, so you can turn those actually off and animate through the Studio Library. So anyway, we'll talk more about it in the next video. I'll show you how to get started with our that one, I think this dialogue, crazy someplace else. We're all sucked up here. So we'll be doing that. I'm going to do that one with you, since I already did the breakdown sheet. I'll get you started on that and how to use the Studio Library. But it's easy to use. I just showed you, and you can animate that way and see how it goes. And you can do a lot of blending. It's wonderful. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon, and hopefully, if I don't get to that video today, we'll talk about it tomorrow if they don't have the school closed. Okay? All right. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.